Starting soon.
Review at the Pink Rat by Cherry Poppin' Daddies tonight. This album's been out for about 2 weeks, so if you haven't heard of it, it's not really on you, but you should listen to it now.
Yeah, go listen to this.
This thing's a PV dinosaur, man.
Sometimes you're going to experience technical difficulties.
All right, so we are doing At the Pink Rat by Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
What does that say?
Error.
YouTube is not something.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, YouTube is not happy with
So excuse our whatever's going on here.
Yeah, we'll just interlude here, bro.
Yeah, everybody just riff. How do you guys feel about the swing genre?
I really, really dig it, man.
Me too.
There's something that special about it because, you know, obviously we're all like former kids that were in band, and so you're around that like musical aspect too. So this like feels like right at home with like Singing in the Rain, and that's like such a comfort movie for me. And it's just, this feels like it would fit, like half of this album feels like it fit on that soundtrack, and I love that. And the other half that doesn't just feels like it would fit in that era of like film and such as well.
Yeah, I do love like all the different eras we get to hear throughout this. Like, it's really cool. Like, this is a concept album, and we kind of get like modern takes on older stylings, and it's a really neat thing to kind of look at and delve deep into.
So it goes like from like the 1910s through like the 60s. It feels like as far as like music. So.
40s golden era, baby.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to early rock and roll at points. It gets some really cool stuff. That's all the mastermind of Steve. Which, if you haven't seen, we did an interview with Steve previously. That's going to be back up on the channel somewhere.
What?
Comment.
Yeah, Shroomi's just saying we're lagging.
Oh yeah, that happens when the internet shits itself. All right.
I don't even understand why. No one else is here.
Yeah, that
We
is
all
true.
dropped off. It's the only thing using the Wi-Fi right now.
Damn.
Sorry, I was supposed to not download that big important file.
Oh,
the
that's
live.
what. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. The error is gone, so we should be all right.
Cool. All right, Carl.
All right, so we're going to start with our top 3 songs. My top 3 were Stella, Cookie Brown, and King Sized.
My top 3 were Shooting Bullets at a Bell, King Sized, and Cookie Brown.
My top 3 was king-sized, undecided, and Cookie Brown.
My top 3 were Thrill Thing, Shooting Bullets at a Bell, and Cookie Brown.
It's Cookie Brown,
Cookie Brown.
clean sweep. Almost King Size clean sweep, too.
Cookie Brown is the Monday Real song.
I'm not going to lie, King Size, I couldn't remember if I shit on that song or not, so I was like looking down, really
That's
hoping.
the ego song.
All right, so for me, bottom songs. Thrill Thing.
My bottom song was Hey Goomba.
Really? All right. My bottom song is When You're a Clown.
That's valid. My bottom song is Kings of Swing.
I did try and steer clear of the first and last song for bottom song because they're a little bit outlier-ish here.
They're outliers. But, you weren't there for the interview, so you didn't get the Goomba lore.
Oh.
That makes
I
sense.
think I just got the concept.
Yeah. So the first and last song are really like they're almost like interludes. They're intros and outros to the rest of the album. So I really didn't count them much in the.
Okay,
the
well,
bottom
hear
either.
me out. I think I just cracked the concept. It starts with carnival music. We'll get to this in 1 second. And then it ends with carnival music.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in like an hour and a half. So, you remember back when carnivals and shit used to be fun? You used to be able to go through like the Hall of Decades and shit like that, and it'd just be like random things from like whatever year. That's exactly what this is probably supposed to fucking be.
Did you watch the videos?
No.
They start and end with a curtain opening. It's literally like going to see a carnival show.
Oh.
That's cool. Didn't
Well,
know
as
that.
someone who did not watch the videos and just cracked the concept thing sitting here, good job, Cherry
Well,
Poppin'
well,
Daddies.
While they didn't impact my scores any, you're not missing much with the videos, and I will get into that.
Ooh.
I got beef with the videos.
All right. Sorry.
All right, so after Logan's little diversion, we get started with track 1, Party Shake.
Number?
Say your
Number?
score.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I gave this, ooh, I can't read my own writing. I think that's an 8.
That is an 8.0, I think.
Nice.
I give the song a 7 out of 10.
I gave this song a 6.5 out of 10.
I gave this song an 8 out of 10.
I guess I gotta go in the defensive. I'm not a huge fan of the circus music. It happens twice on this album. It's okay. This one, the more times that I listened to it, the more I liked it. The first time I was like, this sucks, 6 out of 10. And it's gone up, and it went up to a 7 earlier today, and then another run through, I moved it back down for reasons. I think there was too many 7s in a row. But too many 7s on the top half of this album. But yeah, this one is like, this is one of the only songs with like a real music video to it. Kinda.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. None of them are like a real, true music video, but this is the closest we get, so I guess it gets some points back for that. But it's less that I don't like this song and more that I like the other ones better than it. That's really what it is, because the more I listen to it, the more I don't have any issues with this song. I do have issues with the circus one later, but we'll get to that.
I kind of feel the same way, where I like the other songs here more. But I think the circus stuff is a little fun. Not gonna lie. Like, hearing a bunch of different sounding instruments than what you're used to hearing is kind of neat. But it is a little bit of a like drawback in my own brain a little bit. It's kind of hard to articulate. Like, I feel like it's such an outlier, it takes away just a little bit.
Yeah, but then also knowing that that's the point and it's the top and the
Yeah.
end. So I probably could.
That's
give it
why
a
I could
7,
look
but
over
I'm
it.
going to stick with it. But
Mhm.
there's also in the background, I swear to God, somebody's playing the Mario Sunshine song. Like, just one instrument playing that melody in the background. I swear to God, I heard it and had to go listen to the other one.
So there are a lot of parts of like the whole album that are super familiar. A lot of the melodies and stuff feel super familiar.
I feel so validated in my thoughts and feelings right now. Holy shit.
He was literally venting about
I
this in
was
the car
I was
earlier.
so mad about it because I swear in like 3 different songs you'll hear snippets. We were talking about it's like the second track on the album, which I loved. You can hear like "You Got a Friend in Me" for like a whole bar, and I'm like, no fucking way. It's an unoriginally original album, and I don't know how to explain it any other way than it feels like they took a bunch of samples and then rewrote it and then mixed it up and then gave you greatness.
A lot of that is the way our brains work. You know, if you're not super exposed to kind of this genre, and especially when they do it right like this, you know, if you have a limited sample to draw from, you're going to compare a lot of things to be similar. And I don't know that it's necessarily that it's similar to other things. It could just be that it's so right in the genre. That's one of the things I actually wrote down for this track, is that, you know, the parts are very correct for, you know, being kind of this like 20s, 30s kind of vibe. I actually, you know, I wrote down because I did a fill-in gig playing in the musical Cabaret And if you've ever seen that musical, it takes place during World War II. And the parts are super similar to this. I had to learn the whole book to do that. But it just reminded me of that. It kind of surprised me how right a lot of these parts were compared to that stuff, which was fairly researched and stuff in order to pull the musical off. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I just want you to know how big of a flex that just fucking was on all of us. I'm sitting here like, yeah, this one time I had to go play a fill-in at a show. I wasn't planning on filling in. And you're like, yeah, there's one time I went and played for Cabaret. And I'm like, God damn it. But no, this song is just a fun ragtime ditty. And that's exactly what it was. And the only thing that really, really upset me when I first listened to it, and then after reading what Steve had sent us when we asked him what he had to say about the album, I wish that they put something on this to make it sound old-timey. I get the rest of the album, but for me, with the ending and the outro, with it being this, like, it starts carnival music, and then it gets, like, this ragtime little show, and then all that, I think if they put, like, a crackle filter over the carnival music, it would give you this vibe of, like, we're at, like, this fair in the 20s where they're predicting the future, and this is what it all is. And I think that would have added to the concept, or at least what the concept is in my head. I didn't write the damn album, though, so...
Yeah, I took a note to write that this is a super modern mix on what that is. Even I tried a couple different sets of headphones just to hear, because I was like, man, that's a lot of bass for this era of music, which, isn't necessarily right, because if you hear this stuff and it's authentic, you're listening to it when it was recorded, there was no bass because they couldn't capture it. So, but there's no real comparison. But I did write how interesting it was to hear it mixed so modernly, because it is a very, very good sounding mix and very bass heavy, which is super interesting to hear in this swing genre. So I thought that was a cool note.
Yeah, the only complaint I have about the mix is it just feels wrong, but it's completely and perfectly correct.
Yeah.
But we're all just so used to hearing, recordings of records picked up by a Nokia flip phone on YouTube for songs like this.
Yeah, I actually kind of thought the opposite of you. I was kind of impressed they didn't do any of the like postmodern jukebox crackly nonsense and all that.
Well, see, I only wanted it over the carnival bits. The rest of it, it kind of was like, I love the mix on the actual songs, but the carnival bits, I was like, I wish this felt old-timey, because I can't tell you the last time I remember a true carnival coming to town and being excited. Like, I was 17 years ago.
But the other thing I wrote, lyrically, this was a really good setup for the album too, because it's literally talking about like where they are and what they're doing, and it's kind of like the opening up to the scene of what this is. And without getting too sidetracked, we kind of I read in a little bit into what this was supposed to be, and we talked about it earlier. It was supposed to be kind of a swing take on Saturday Night Fever, which I have never seen, but I read a little bit about. Basically, kind of, it should make the rest of the thing make sense, just as a note.
All right. Ready for the next song?
Cool. Yeah, on to track 2, which is Thrill Thing. I gave this a 7.5.
I also give this a 7.5.
I gave it a 7.
I gave this a 10.
Damn.
And I got no regrets about it. All right, if you want to show someone, if you're like, I'm going to show someone like a swing ska song, this is the song you should show them. This is like the perfect amalgamation of everything I want to hear out of the genre. It just smacked it. It also comes back to that point of this sounded so familiar to me, yet so new to me at the same time. And I think it is because it feels like they take some licks or take some inspiration from older stuff, and then they put this modern mix on it. So it's like, this is what I like to hear out of whoever the hell I listened to from the last 10 years, combined with what I like from 50, 60 years ago. So it's just, it hit every bell in the right spot.
What's really neat about you saying that? I felt like with that, it kind of leads into what I had to say about it. I felt like it was a very like fresh kind of sounding thing, even though it was so familiar. It's such a fresh take on it that it's really nice to hear. And like getting into the actual music versus the circus stuff, I got really excited when this song came on. I was like, oh, this is what the album's gonna sound like. This is gonna be fucking dope. I was loving it right off the bat.
I don't know. For me, it just kind of got slower. I don't know. Usually with me, if something like is fast and upbeat and I'm super happy and then it gets slower, I'm like, oh. I guess that was the whole reason it rated half a point lower than the last one.
It's funny because I think the slower songs on this were more of my favorites than the faster ones. I did make a comment that you were going to like the vibe solo in this song.
Yeah, I did. I did write the vibraphone and drum break was really good.
The vibe did go hard. I was in the middle of like putting shit in an area at work for people to pick up. Right when the vibe solo hit, I'm standing like right by vibes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to go pick up mallets and play this. I don't know shit about the vibes, but
The one thing I want to throw out there about this song is this is the start of the AI music videos. And I don't think they should have done them. One, they're fucking terrifying, but also just my issue with it is not that they did an AI video, because I'm the biggest advocate for AI as a tool for work that was not going to get done otherwise.
facts.
But they paid a company to do it, which means that the work was going to get done anyway. Or the work paying for AI videos does not seem like the thing that I would have ever thought to do, and I don't like that. Also, they're scary.
Maybe a
I don't
director.
want to watch them.
Connor is just afraid of technology.
Some of these AI videos are really scary.
No,
though.
like
they're
these are
really
terrifying.
scary.
This one not as much, but some of these later, scary as shit.
You know, I kind of liked the way they released the album like a track at a time. And I think the videos helped them do that, so I kind of give it a pass a little bit. But I will 100% agree with you. Some of the stuff that the AI generated is like, it's straight up like
Go
horror
watch
movie
the
stuff.
goddamn clown video and tell me it was a good idea to make. No,
I
it was
will be
like
doing
4 or
that
5 of
after
them
the
that
live.
should not have been made. This one I don't think was as bad, because there's one of them that's like a I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a cartoon Gatsby scene, and I think it's this one, and that one is not too bad.
That's later on.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's Goomba. That's Hey Goomba,
Is
I
it?
think.
No. This I think it's one of the early ones. I don't know if
Okay.
it's this one, but it's more of a cartoon and less of like real people. The real people one are scary as shit. This,
AI can't handle hands, especially. The hands is what wigs me out. I don't know. I kind of treated them more like visualizers. I don't know. You guys probably aren't like, you don't remember having like Windows Media
Like an
Center
oscillator?
and turning on
They-
like the
they already
pumping
still do. They
visualizers.
still do visualizers.
Okay.
Is it kind of like an oscilloscope?
Yeah. Just it. You know, I thought of them as like something to help you get into the vibe of the music, and less like a real music video. Because I don't know. I guess Steve will probably get on and correct us, so he can probably let us know. But,
I do think it is this song.
okay.
Looking at the videos, I think it's this one. That I had less of a problem with this one, but I'm bringing it up now because this is where it starts, and it's gonna get worse with the videos. But my thoughts on the videos do not take away from what I scored the songs. So my rant is over now. For now,
Well, actually, Sean's telling you to go off in the chat.
I did.
Yeah, he's like
He also
30
spelled my
seconds
name
behind. Got Sean, you're fired.
Connor.
Thought we were taking applications, but
Yeah,
Not
Sean, we're not taking your application anymore. You'll have to resubmit in 3 seasons.
All right. Well, in 3 seasons, when Sean is back, we can do track 3. Just kidding. Track 3 is king sized. I gave this one an 8.5.
9.
9 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10.
Damn.
I feel like this just really came at an inconvenient spot for my listening pleasure. It's a good song, but I was ready at the last song. You got to think I was up here, right? So it had to go ahead and match up here, and it just didn't for me. So it brought me down here.
I'm just curious. Are you listening to the lyrics on these songs? Are you listening to like the stories they're telling?
I was, and then I stopped being able to piece it together after things started to get like way too much for my ears to handle. And then I was just feeling out the vibe of the song.
Cool. I was just curious because this is the first one I wrote as being like definitely like a villain song, like sung from like a villain point of view, and it made me think of like one of the Disney villain songs. And as a kid, I was always like, heck yeah, I was always rooting for the bad guys because they had the better music.
I do love how just straight pompous this song sounds. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's filthy.
Yeah, I felt like I was standing on top of the world the whole time I was fucking listening to it. I was like, damn, this is some ego shit.
So I ended up watching. So this one doesn't have like a video. It's more of a visualizer, like a lyric video. And if you watch that lyric video, it looks like the opening credits to like a crime movie set in Vegas at nighttime. And I'd watch the hell out of that movie watching this video for it. Shit went hard. And the video perfectly goes along with it, and it doesn't look like if they used AI, then they taught it only how to spell words right, and that's it. So that's why I don't think it's AI.
Right. Sorry, I was just making sure none of us had anything else. We no real rants this time.
Song fucked. Move on.
All right. So track 4 is Lowdown Appreciator. I think I spelled that right. I gave that an 8.5.
I gave this one an 8.
I gave it an 8 out of 8.5. Jesus.
I gave this one a 7. I think I definitely missed the point of this song, and I continually went back looking for it. I listened to this song like 6 times on its own, trying to get it, and I just couldn't get it the whole time. It wasn't a bad song at all. I couldn't get it, man.
I don't know how to explain it, but when I listened to this album today, this song, halfway through it, I was like, yeah, this song belongs exactly where it is on the album.
Oh, that made sense to me too. I was like, this is where it goes. But to me, I was like, this is kind of always a filler spot. So is it good for your song to be called a filler song?
I wouldn't even call this a filler. This almost made my top 3.
Really?
It was pretty close.
Yeah, this was really close
I
to
think
mine,
I
too.
had it written in my number 2 spot for a second and then swapped it out with the other one.
Oh, wow. That didn't even cross my mind.
I was just happy it got fast again, really, to be
It did
honest.
get fast, yeah.
The other thing I wrote down is that it has a really, really cool key change that almost reminded me of like a Broadway musical.
There's a handful of key changes in this song that are done really fucking well. There are a lot towards the end, I think, but this one had one too. It was great.
Yeah, I do love the like pickup and energy that this song kind of brings. It comes at a great time too. I agree with you guys on that. The key changes, they were super cool. I just really dig this style of music, and getting it in this like modern styling with the mixing and all that too is really cool to see, and I think it works really well in this song too.
What's wrong with me? I didn't know. There's no... Wait, can I? Well, I keep... Stall for a second. I gotta switch records.
Stalling
shit.
for a second.
Yeah, I kind of thought this one had a cool story too. Like it was like a love arc, but kind of in like a T-Pain "I'm in love with a stripper" way. It was pretty cool.
When did you get that?
Before the interview. So, for a while.
That's fucking awesome.
Our personal best friend, Steve. Just kidding. Work
They-
acquaintance at best. Steve of the Cherry Poppin' Daddies did do a
I'd
gracious
call him a
interview
best
with
friend.
us.
He's a pretty awesome guy.
I wish he was my best friend. He was actually really a delight to talk to. It's very insightful. So if you really want to learn about the deep history of the Cherry Poppin' Daddies,
I mean,
check
You
out
really
that
want to learn
interview.
about the deep history. Get us to 500 subscribers so we can drop the uncut version of that interview that is like 2 hours long.
That is true. We
It's
did
such a
talk to
Patreon
Steve for
cut.
a very long time, in which he said a lot of things that I did not know how they were going to relate back to what he started with, and then he made it full circle.
Yeah,
Every time.
He's a super deep dude. I was kind of surprised because I don't know. I guess like coming from limited exposure to the Daddies, I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of this. It's like this ska band thing, and I totally was wrong.
Oh yeah, this Steve might actually be a genius. Like his level of thinking is so much grander than 90% of the people I've ever talked to.
Well, I do have a slight rant on this recording. There was like so much delay on a couple parts of this song that I actually couldn't like tell what was going on, and I thought it was messed up where I was streaming it.
hey, Connor, just so Sean hears this. Sean wants you to know that he's sorry.
Yeah, his name is spelled Conrad.
I spell it Condor or God, one of the two.
Sean, I accept your apology, and we will be accepting your application for Strike Team Season 4.
Yes, sir. Tune in next week to see who we're firing from Strike Team Season 3.
That's the one where we shove Sean out of a moving airplane.
Yeah, that's the initiation tactics.
Album book club goes
We also have to-
skydiving.
We have to
What a vlog.
shove whoever we're firing out of the same plane.
But without a parachute.
Congrats, you guys get to fight in the air of who gets to live and stay in the Strike
No,
Team.
yeah, we throw one down, throw the other, and then we throw the parachute after both of them. And they have to fight for it in the air.
That's a good idea.
It's
and then we film it, and that's the Patreon video.
It's actually just a real life Saw game where the parachute could have held both of them if they just decided to work together. But
Exactly.
human nature made them greedy.
Well, if it was Saw, they would have implanted a parachute into one of their stomachs, and they would have to cut it out while they were landing.
Before you land, cut out
They
your
should move it.
stomach.
I wanna play a game.
One of you has a parachute in your stomach, the other a scalpel. Good luck.
You will hit the ground in 3 minutes. Try not to die.
The winner has to show up next week for the live.
Good old parachute stomach over there. Winning.
Just in the middle of next week's live, the parachute goes off.
Can we go to Kings of Swing now?
Sure, yeah, that's the next track.
Carson will not survive the Yapcast.
Yeah, next track, King of Swing. I gave this a 7.5.
I gave this one a 7.
I gave this one a 7.
I gave this one a 6.5.
Me and Connor be matching pretty well tonight.
Okay, so I gave this an extra half a point because Gene Krupa is in the video at the beginning, and I don't know, just he's like the guy that like invented the drum set, so they got points for that. Also, the horns are really tight, so that's actually all I wrote.
No. Go ahead.
This is one of the songs on the album I feel like is a little bit hard to talk about because it's overall just genuinely a good song, but there's not much going on outside of like the normal stuff other than they've modernized it. You know? So like other than like a really banging backtrack and, you know, really solid lyrical premise, there's not much to expand upon there.
Yeah, this one was definitely like it was meant to be like an homage. So like I heard like the Benny Goodman in the beginning with Gene Krupa was Benny Goodman's drummer.
Cool.
I heard the Glenn Miller in the middle. I mean, there was like all the swing influences like popped out in this tune. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I just had Carson's right on it with not knowing exactly how to talk about it. Great horns, great backup vocals. It's just a really fun sounding song. I just really like this one.
All my beef with this song is that I bet it goes 10 times harder live. This song feels like it was meant to be played live, and it was one of those ones where you're like, well, unfortunately, we have to put it on the album, too, because someone's going to like it live, and they're going to want to hear it somewhere else.
Sean, we can't tell you who you're fighting until later. That's part of the rules.
Yeah.
But we do need to implant a parachute in your stomach or a scalpel. You get to choose because, you know, we're trying to keep you around.
Yeah, I can just imagine being in, like, the speakeasy fucking with the flapper going nuts. And then to go home and
I mean,
act not drunk.
when we talked to him, he did say that he prefers to do the live stuff. So I'm sure a lot of these songs were written to be played live.
They have to go so
That's the
hard.
sole
live.
intent.
I just say if I
so-
went to a live show of just this album, I think I would leave a changed man.
Oh yeah.
Our worlds would be expanded
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would understand live.
just from being in the presence of Steve.
That's true.
I mean, I can tell you from having like played some of the style of this stuff. Sorry, I'm not trying to like flex on you guys. I'm really not. But like playing in a big band and playing some of this Benny Goodman stuff is super
Know what we're
fun.
laughing about?
Oh.
Sean in the chat said scalpel, easy dub. How are you gonna get it out of your stomach? We'll wait for him to respond.
This is one of the strangest tangents we've ever had. I love it.
Hey guys, how do you feel about coleslaw?
Balls.
I didn't have the camera. Fuck.
Oh, balls. That's why we were laughing.
No, I thought you were laughing because I decided to be kind of a jerk again. I'm trying not to be, but there's something that's really special about playing these in a group and the horns being tight and all of that stuff being together. Because a lot of guys in the jazz world think of especially the Glenn Miller stuff as this super cheesy thing, and until you get it to like this super tight point where it's all perfect, and then it just comes together and blooms. Like I don't even know how to explain
I hear
it.
Glenn Miller and I do not think cheesy. I think legend. Oh my god. Same with Benny Goodman.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're not in the jazz scene.
Well, I
I
don't
play
know.
saxophone. What are you talking about?
Actively?
I practice, yeah.
You practice. I mean, you're not going out to like.
I'm
Yeah,
not
shit.
fucking playing, no. But I would love to play any of those pieces. I don't care. They're great.
You don't see a lot of jazz bands, frankly, because splitting the $100 check at the bar 20 ways doesn't
Yeah, it's
usually
really
go
hard.
really well. But
That's why you need a casino, and you got to be on a different wavelength to be able to play at a casino. They'll hire schmucks off the street, and then the casino will close. Or they'll hire dudes that have practiced 73 hours in the last 24 that are just artisans at their craft and pay them $1,000 a night.
Could never be me. They'd pay me like 3 peanuts and then tell me to get the fuck out in the morning.
Carson, do you know giant steps? Sean wants to know.
Giant steps? I don't think I can play that.
I can play a mean-ass high cross buns on most instruments if I figure it out eventually.
I mean, give you 20 minutes and some Adderall. You got it.
I could become a savant at anything with that much time.
Right, track 6 is undecided.
Thank God he said the number.
Yeah, I gave this an 8.
I gave this one a 7.5.
I gave this one an 8.
I gave this one a 7.5.
Nice.
I'm not on crack. This song is satire as fuck, right? Or did I write this down on the wrong song?
Maybe.
This felt like it was just like a big old laughing joke of like, this is how it is and or was, what the fuck?
Maybe.
I was trying to figure out what like the point of the khaki suit in the lyrics. I don't. Because in the video, it kind of, I think it may be a reference to like choosing between a military guy and like a civilian guy, maybe.
Could be.
I mean, that's what I was
That
trying to
makes
figure out. Because a lot of those, a lot of the songs from that era are about dating someone in the military and doing this and doing that. So that would make a lot of sense with the kind of the play on everything.
Yeah, that would make sense with like the whole khaki suit bit.
Yeah, I just wrote down 1 girl, 2 boys because he says it
He does say that a lot.
like 50 times.
Also, this video scared the shit out of me. This video is terrifying. The first couple frames, they draw the girl and then zoom way the fuck into her face. It's terrifying. It doesn't get better after that either.
The first thing I wrote down in my notes just said this should have been the song for the movie Challengers. But no, I always assume, because it's like the tan suit thing, I assumed 100% was the military uniform. And then I don't know if this was just me fucking reaching and grasping for straws, related this song to like the movie Pearl Harbor, that really shitty movie with Ben Affleck that's like 3 hours long.
Why would you want to watch a movie that long with Ben Affleck in it?
I love Ben Affleck. You hush your whore mouth.
Isn't he in Lord of the Rings? They're that long.
He's not in Lord of the Rings, to my knowledge, or what? But no, it's like there's like they get this weird love triangle. They're both in the military in that one, so I kind of assumed this was just kind of like, well, my boyfriend's gone for a long time, and then you're here, and then oh fuck, my boyfriend came back, so now I got to pick between the two of you.
Well, she picked the guy that didn't go to the military.
That's
It
true.
seemed
Yeah,
like
and
she
then-
picked him, and then the other guy just decided not to go. Because at the end, he
No.
switches and he's in the other suit.
I think he goes to the military and then comes back,
No,
and then she like regrets her decision because it's like she fucked up.
We're gonna have to
All I
ask
know is that-
Steve some
Yeah, where's-
questions on this
yeah.
one.
All I know is this song was pretty much 1-to-1 to the plot of Challengers, and that's why I was like, this is fucking easy to remember.
What if it was one guy and he left and then came back and she couldn't decide which side of him she loved?
We can also just read the lyrics here. Oh, there's not that many.
Yeah,
no, so this song, that was the other thing I noticed. The lyrics are only in the first half of the song.
yeah. The back half
They
is all
come back with
instrumental.
like 2 lines at the end, but this, I was expecting the solo break and then come back and finish the story, and that really doesn't happen, which is fine.
I was
I
expecting
didn't-
some kind of second half.
Yeah, but I also understanding at least a little bit what this story is, maybe not 100%, but knowing that there's something here and knowing kind of what it is, it doesn't seem like the thing that needs to be fully explained.
Guys, we completely missed the whole point of all this. Oh, gosh.
I'm not surprised at all.
I just read the lyrics. So it says the one in the tux or the one in the khaki suit, assuming that this is supposed to be, do you want the man of your dreams who doesn't have it all figured out, or the guy who's got it who's set? And she picked the safe option. So the other guy pissed off. And then now she's going insane because she chose the safe life and she doesn't actually care for it.
Right.
That makes a lot more sense.
That is the lyrical breakdown of Logan.
Hell yeah.
Because it
Logan.
said she's going wacky because they're both wearing khakis. Like she's like the suburban housewife when she had Prince Charming there to sweep her off her feet. She picked the safe option.
Also, Sean in the chat asked if Challenger was that one with Zendaya. No, the Challenger disaster happened a long time ago.
Challengers is the movie with Zendaya where she, in fact, fucks a dude, then marries his best friend, then fucks him, convinces him to play tennis longer than he wants to, and thus he gets bad. And so she goes back and fucks his old best friend, in which they play a game of tennis, and that best friend tells him that he just fucked his wife, to which he says, bullshit, and at the end they all hug because they had a, quote, good tennis game match.
It's a good match.
Does anybody else like Two Princes by the Spin Doctors? This kind of reminded me of that, too. Like lyrically.
yeah, you're so right.
I don't know. I did write, I liked the spooky vibraphone. That was the other part. There's a lot of really cool vibraphone on this. I think it's real. I mean, if it's not, they can trick me with samples now. They definitely can. But it sounds like a real vibraphone.
I think the instrumentation on this album in general is really neat because we do get those really interesting, like clownish musics at the start and the end, and that shows off a really cool, some really cool instrumentation. We get some cool like sprinkled vibraphone throughout, which is really neat. Yeah, I think it brings a certain charm to the album that really wasn't there before, and at least to my ears, it sounds all real.
Yeah, I would believe it. They went out of their way to make this really authentic, which is really cool.
Have any of you guys listened to the new Larry June? Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with who that is.
Carl?
That is out of my spectrum of music.
No, I really don't like that much music. Sorry.
Carl, the guy who's like most knowledgeable on music, doesn't like that much music.
Especially not Nirvana.
That is. I feel that I don't dislike Nirvana. I dislike Nirvana fans. So thus, Nirvana is one of those bands that I just don't listen to.
We're going to have to check out this Larry June.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean says it just came out today.
Oh, it's hip hop and rap.
Well, I'd probably like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean's definitely right. I probably can't listen to rap. I literally tried one time. Sean played like Drake for me, and I was like, I don't like this.
Well, it was Drake.
Yeah, listen to like
that's fair.
Eazy-E, Ice Cube.
I mean, I kind of like Run DMC.
Run DMC fucks.
Yeah, I mean, the Beastie Boys are kind of like 80s Eminem. I kind of like that, you know.
We can throw that new Larry June on the wheel.
Yeah.
Well, is it just a song or is it an album?
It would be an album for the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Well,
fact checker Sean.
Well, I'm sending it over there. I'm gonna go grab it.
All right, introduce the. Did everyone talk about this song?
I don't know how I'm gonna get that marker.
Yeah, I said my piece on it and everything.
Okay, the next track.
This is hilarious to watch.
Yeah,
You should have leaned over and swapped the camera on him.
yeah, it's all right. Connor's not dead. That's all that matters.
Introduce the next song.
So the next song is track 7, which is Hey Goomba. I gave this a 7 3/4 out of 10.
I gave this a 7 out of 10. And real quick, this is really easy for me. I gave it a thumbs up plus because I just couldn't really find much to say about it.
I gave this song a 7.5, and this is the song that came out like 2 days after we interviewed Steve.
Yeah, I give this a 6 out of 10 because for the life of me could not remember why this sounded so familiar, and so I spent the entire song trying to figure out where that was.
It's just from several months ago.
Yeah.
I cannot hear me, but
I had to reach into the deep recesses of my mind.
just a couple months ago.
To be fair, when I did all these ratings, I didn't understand that it was like Saturday Night Fever, and they were a bunch of like not really connected stories. So I was still trying to figure out the common thread between all the characters, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" I really missed it.
Hopping through decades, that's what's going on.
Yeah. So I put that this felt like a build up to a fight, but after learning that that's not what it is, it makes more sense.
Hey, Carl, you got called a poser.
Oh, whatever. I did put Italian Gangsters in New Jersey. That was pretty cool. Shout out, I guess.
Broadway Forever. The Larry June album has been added to the wheel. When we get around to spinning that, it will be an option for us to review. Which means we'll do it eventually.
Let's go.
The wheel is going here for this
Play
episode.
this song. We unfortunately cannot play this song as this one wonderful thing exists called copyright law. And they will ruin our lives forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if we
I
play their music.
don't have a soul, but I really don't want Warner Brothers to own it.
And they would the second we played anything.
Yep.
But Mambo Italiano is a great song. I really think it was a weird choice to put it on this album in this spot. But, you know, do what you want to do, Cherry Poppin' Daddies. It just fits and it works.
Yeah, I will say the first time I heard this and for all times after, the only thing I can think of is the monologue from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, where if you're not watching it, you're going to turn into a Goomba.
Hey, we got a good suggestion.
Play it backwards. That's how you summon
Yeah, we
demons.
can just play it backwards and summon demons.
Haven't you heard if you play Kiss backwards, you'll start to, like, worship Satan and shit?
Also,
That's what
if we
the old
had,
church
if we had
ladies
spun
used
the
to say.
wheel, we would have needed to contact John.
So, random bit about the song. Was the piano out of tune in this song? Was that this song?
I don't know, but whatever song it was on, I was like, this feels right. Because there is no right way to play swing music other than on the most shittily out-of-tune piano in the corner of a room that someone says, hit it, and some random person's fucking playing it in the next shot.
I don't know. It was like artistically out of tune. That's what made me start to wonder if some of these were samples and just good ones. Because I was like, man, it's like the right amount out.
I don't know. I didn't think this one was out of tune.
Then
but
it may not have been
maybe.
this one. I just wrote spooky or haunting piano, so maybe it wasn't this one. I just vaguely remember one of the times it was out of tune.
What's happening?
The Larry June crowd
Larry
somehow
Junes.
stumbled upon this live.
We might have to switch up our album for next week.
We actually cannot play that album or any of those songs. We will all check it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's two. I mean, we can just do that next week.
Let's not commit to that. I am out next week, and
That's why
I would
I'm
like to listen
suggesting
to
it.
this.
Wait, you want
I
to
will
listen
say
to this?
I will say we did promise another viewer an album review.
That is
And
true.
that is
We
what
are-
next week is.
We are
But
slightly committed.
a little bit committed to do it eventually, but
Man, I love fishing.
it has been added to the wheel. We will do it at some point. I don't know when we're going to need the wheel because we're semi-booked for a second, but
The wheel's getting pretty full, too.
yeah, I didn't want to spin it until it was full, but we're like 3 away, and if tomorrow goes well, we might have it full.
You should write cancel the stream on one of those and just go completely.
Yes. No, that's a dream. You don't even know. We get in like every Friday we wake up with a sense of dread.
It's also funny because all of the little posts on the wheels are in the middle of each section.
It is a little weird.
They just cut the thing wrong, or the disc in there wrong, but Sean is summoning Winge currently.
Sean, good luck.
Well, if anyone could, it would be Sean.
That is so very true.
All right. The next song is Royal Street Swing Down. If we want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I gave that an 8.
I also think I gave that an 8. Hold on. Which one was it?
This man's was not ready.
Number 8, Royal Street Swing Down.
Oh, I gave this one an 8.5.
I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
Damn, I like this one, guy. I thought it was really fun.
It ain't bad. Also, I think this was the song where I realized how much Steve sounds like Weird Al Yankovic. So it just kind of was like weird in this song where I was like, oh man, they sound kind of similar. But anywho, the horns went really good and the vocal chants were very fun. But I think this was when like kind of like the ska fatigue kind of sat in, where it was like they're hopping around a lot, but they're still the core of their sound, and I think it was just kind of sitting in right around this song.
I wrote that I may have a new favorite like fight song. It's not "Give Me 3 Steps" anymore. It may actually be like "Royal Street Swing Down," because like the whole time I was like, man, I just want to punch somebody. This is awesome. I also put it has a lot of early rock and roll vibes, kind of boogie woogie kind of stuff going on.
I think that's why I
which is
like
cool.
it so much. I really dig that kind of music.
I am going to interject
Yep,
real quick
I was
here.
just gonna do that.
Broadway Forever, if you are looking for a format like that, our regularly published YouTube videos are that exact format where we listen to them and then review EPs on there. The album we typically announce, so this Friday we should be announcing next week's album, so you have that week to review it and then rate along with us at home next Friday.
Still can't play the songs in the video though.
That
Still
we
get got
can't
if we
do.
do
That's
that, but-
still illegal.
But when we get Patreon though,
When we get
then
Patreon,
we're doing that
Patreon.
shit.
you can pay $5, and that means we are now providing you a service in which copyright can fuck right off.
I don't know if you pick something really easy, I'll play the songs on guitar in the middle or something.
YouTube uses robot checkers, so we'll still get got even if we do that.
I was gonna say, ironically enough, we could play a 1-to-1 cover of a song, and we would get got.
was
Yeah,
gonna say,
I'm not very
I'm
good.
at-
That's why I said that.
Sometimes when Steven used to sing the songs into the mic, I would get worried because YouTube's got a hair trigger for things like that.
Yeah,
so.
you do that for more than 10 seconds. You're gone.
no.
14 in the videos, but
Okay.
lives is the Wild West to me. I don't know
Lives
what the
is
hell's going on.
approximately 3.
3 seconds.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they have some mega robot detection on lives.
Yeah, it's bad.
Record companies own the world. All right, did anyone else want to speak their piece on this track?
Yeah, I'd take it. This song is what I imagine if there was like a party in New Orleans. This is the song that's playing. I liked it a lot. The horns go hard, the vocals go hard, but the music video is fucking terrifying. So, once again, scaring the shit out of me.
I need to watch these music videos
This
because they
one's
sound
like-
like a fucking hoot.
So, as scary as this one is, it's kind of cool. It's like tarot cards almost, but like it's moving through a table, just gray screen, and then there's like the tarot card borders, and then a bunch of shit happen in the middle that scares me. But
That's actually sick as hell.
They exist to enhance the song. I think.
Yeah.
I think they're there to like keep you in the vibe and the mood of the whole song, which I thought was really cool because they nail that. But some of them are just I don't know if like scary, but a lot of them are like uncanny AF. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's just weird.
and I mean, if their whole thing was we want to show that, and we aren't gonna go make a video for it anyway, then that's fine, I guess. But the fact that they did use a company to make it doesn't sit well with me. Like if they just did that, like typed it into an AI thing themselves and threw that up, that would be fine. But actually going and getting it done is,
So
I get that you probably have to, but like
Connor is mad at capitalism.
I don't like.
He's also afraid of robots.
I'm not afraid. I don't like the way it's used in certain ways. I've
I
used.
don't know.
it-
You told me you were really afraid of like self-driving cars and shit.
Well, yeah, because they're not good yet.
No,
You're
Connor,
like, oh, I'm gonna turn my fucking robot car on. All right, we're gonna die then.
Connor
We were
feels
safe on the
bad
way back.
for our business acquaintance Steve.
I actually, for Steve's defense, like the Daddies is probably a huge band, and getting all of those people together into a video studio and booking the time and getting all of that done is probably just a nightmare. Even to just film one of them.
Yeah.
So I understand both sides of the coin. But all right, track 9 was "Take It Off, Stella." I gave this one a 9.
I actually give this one a 7.
This one an 8.5, and it also cycled in through my number 2 spot a couple times.
I had such a hard time rating this song, but I ended on a 7.5 on this album. Off of this album, I think it's higher. I think this is kind of a flow buster, not gonna lie. Like this, like the guitar in the intro, I think was what did it. Because most of the other intros haven't been like this stark of like, we're into that like surf rock era.
The first word written down is surf rock on my notes.
That's wild. I wrote down rockabilly, and it almost like it verges on like almost like psychobilly. Like it gets like
It gets out
it gets
there.
it gets raucous. I wrote down it has probably my like second favorite phrase I've ever heard in a song, which is second to keep it copacetic. But it's don't be suboptimal.
Yeah.
I literally wrote that in all caps because I was like, that's one of the funniest things. And I was like, man, if they sell it on a T-shirt, I've got to look and see because that's such a funny random. But they repeat it multiple times. I was like, I wonder how Steve came up with that, or I wonder who came up with that, where it's from. It's got to be a reference to something, and I didn't have time to dig too much into it. But the whole song just had this kind of like sarcastic attitude to it that I just loved, and I loved that they screamed Stella in the middle of it. Like the whole thing just had this super funny attitude to it. I think that's why it was my top song.
I think I'm the only person in this room that didn't like the Stella bit. It kind of took me out. It kind of hit me with that heavy flow buster feel, and then it made this song kind of just there for me. Like the rest of it, it rocks. You know, I really like it. It's just when I get to that portion where they're yelling Stella, it kind of takes me out. It kind of pulls me back a little bit, and I don't exactly know why. Maybe it's because I don't like surf rock as much, but
I'm not smoking crack. Steve told us about this song early, right?
Did he?
I could have swore he had mentioned it in that video. And he's like, we've been working on this one. And he like just had like a tiny little blurb about it. And I remember being so hyped from that day. And then it came out and I was like, okay, this is gonna fuck.
I don't know. I kind of
And
thought
then
this was kind of like the peak in the album of the energy for me too. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that
this was like kind of where it was like, all right, cool, we're gonna start the wind down.
It does
after.
get kind of weird from this point on, so.
a little
I-
funky.
I think it did throw off just like the flow a little bit of everything. Just because this did kind of feel like a like punch in their song. It's a great song, but in the context of the album, I think maybe a little
I'm feeling
less fitting.
Our flow discussion is going to be interesting.
It's kind of like we need this generation. Bang. We need this decade of music.
Not even that. I think it's just maybe the last song wasn't hyped up enough to get to this level. I feel like it just kind of like came there. Like it was just kind of like maybe you were here
Just
and then
what?
you took a big step
That's what I
up.
was going to say.
Pause.
Came right in your face.
Pause, bro.
Yes, the Monday
Jesus.
reel is saved.
That was a reference to our Czarface EP review. Check it out.
I actually think all of my favorite tracks were on the second half. That's what I was just looking. I was looking to see where. No, I put King Size up there. Okay, I liked this last little bit of the album. So even
I
though
did too, yeah.
it got a little weird, it left me super hyped, which is why I'm excited to talk about next song, track 10, Shooting Bullets at a Bell. I gave this a 8.5 out of 10.
I give this song a 9.5 out of 10.
I gave this song a 7 out of 10.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry.
I gave this song a 9 out of 10.
Good. That's acceptable.
This is my thumbs up plus. I liked this song.
That's
It has a
criminal.
cool key change at the end,
Criminal.
but it's sandwiched between like
Bangers.
yeah, just I was gonna say 4, but then I realized what the second one down is, and that's definitely not a fucking banger. I got beef with that song.
Yeah, this song almost was in my top 3.
This is like my top track of the album. Like it's really good. I love the whole energy to it. I love the vibe. And listen, the last 3 songs on this album, I don't feel like it gets really weird up until we get to the last one. And I think these 2 tracks subsequently are just really good.
Oh yeah, you didn't watch the music video. That's why the next track is not weird to you.
Oh.
I understand.
Next track is weird to me, but it's just because I don't. I'll explain it.
When we get to it, I'll explain the story too. I looked it up because there's a good story behind the next
So
track.
keep in
thank
mind it's in my
God.
top 3, but it is a weird song.
It's in all of our top 3s.
Yeah, I think that was the one that made all of ours.
It
Mm-hmm.
is.
But back on Shooting Bullets, I wrote this was another villain song, And I think that was one of those things like this was like, it reminded me of like Pinky and the Brain. Because like there's
I see
points where he
that, yeah.
talks about like the lab and like it's like crazy evil mastermind. And the other thing I wrote is like after the super sarcasm of the last track, this
Edmund
like
says
opens up
hi.
and just smacks you in the head.
Yeah.
Like it just immediately hits, which was really cool because that's super hard to pull off on an album, just for something to smack you like that. It was cool.
As you said that, I realized this is the video I was thinking of as being really weird.
Uh,
I did have that wrong.
I-
Hello, Evan.
I do agree about this being like a villain song, but I definitely put this on like, well, I don't know if you would call Captain Nemo the villain of Moby Dick, but I certainly would say he was kind of an asshole. So it's like this to me felt like when the horns get to their little like big fanfare section, it was like a sea shanty-esque, but I think that's just
It
the
like
sound of it all.
it slowed down to make room for it too, which was cool because it was a super fast thing, and then it just kind of like reels back just a little, and then there's this really cool like sax soli, and then it just goes poof, back again. It's like they kind of like reeled back and then like let it go. I thought that was a really cool like musical device in this track.
It was amazing. I loved it. This made the playlist.
Great track.
Actually, let me confirm this statement because I know I added a song off this album to the playlist
I need to add,
today.
like most of this album to a playlist.
I need to just make a playlist with this. Oh, Thrill Thing made my playlist.
I was gonna
This
say, I
one
might
is
just
about
pin
to.
this album for a while,
That's
keep
so
it towards
fair.
the top, and then take one song off of it.
All right, so we kind of hinted at this next track. This track is Cookie Brown. I gave this one an 8 3/4 out of 10.
I give this one 8.5.
I also gave the song an 8.5.
I give this an 8. All right, let's get the elephant out of there. Is this song racist?
Probably.
Yep, it sounded like it.
like I understand. Well, it's not. Okay, this is gonna sound bad. This song is not written in a racist way. This song is meant to mimic a racist time. You know, I think that's the best way I can explain it. Steve wasn't being racist with this song. It's the best way to say it.
Do you want me to tell the story?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I read
Yes.
yeah, so I read something from Steve where he talked about this. So this song is about being accepted by his wife's family, and his wife's family is not white. I think they're Latino, if I remember
So
correctly.
I got that part.
Yeah. So they kind of like, I guess, didn't really accept him at first, and this was about some of that, about how much he loved her and all this, but that never, it didn't work at first. I think is the understanding, which I'm sure I'm paraphrasing whatever he said, but I just thought that was really cool because it came out as a love song, but in such an interesting way.
That's something you see throughout this entire album. All these songs are like pretty interesting in how they're made.
Like this one that uses a fucking submarine siren for percussion towards the end, which I wasn't expecting, but sure. Yeah, I really like the guitar in the beginning of this one. It
Just my-
super stands out.
This is my favorite guitar tone on the album.
Mm-hmm.
I really like finding out that this song is not racist. That was probably the best part about all this. This is a great track. It's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just finding out that it is about like his wife and his wife's family adds that little extra touch because you don't expect this to be a love song with the beat that's going behind it, with everything going on. You're like, what the hell? How can this ever be a love song? But no, it is when you listen.
Yeah, and it does it so like weirdly beautifully, you know? It's so like kind of intricate in how it portrays itself. Now, I super agree with you on how fun the song is. That's what I love about it. It's such a fun tune, and you know, it brings this weird energy that you don't typically see in a song like this. It's all just great music, really.
So to answer your question, Sean,
All in quotes.
this song wasn't quite my favorite song, but was better than the others. That's how it got an 8 3/4. Sean's complaining about how I'm doing, not whole numbers.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Didn't we just establish that you're new, Steven?
Yeah, this is Steven too.
Steven's gonna be so upset when he sees this.
Actually, I think he would probably be fine. He'd tip the cap. He'd be like, all right.
Where's he at?
Probably suffering in his room. This dude texts me on the first day that he's there. He goes, my room is unlivable, bro. It's hot as fuck. And then So I guess he stayed like in a hotel or something,
Oh my God.
and then had to go buy like a fucking window AC unit.
That's a terrible first day.
That's fucking hilarious. I'm so glad that happened to him.
Oh, Steven's not in chat. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, fuck. That now I just seem like an asshole. I've known Steven for the better part of a decade.
Well, he probably doesn't have internet in his shack he's staying at. I'm
Yeah,
assuming. I mean, that's
Yeah, and the fucking
He's all in his data plan.
in the tool shed from the Evil Dead cabin where Steven lives. He doesn't have good Wi-Fi. He also had to set up a desk. The very exact same desk that I have.
Is it the one that's been in your car since I've known you?
Yes, that is true. I've had a desk in the back of my car for like a year. But I told Steven, this is a very easy to put together desk, which I did not remember if it was a true or not statement at the time of making it, because I put that desk together 2.5 years prior. And I was like, it's pretty easy, dude. It took me like 15 minutes. And then he texts me, he goes, this thing was fucking hell and the keyboard tray is broken now. He fucking snapped it trying. Not like the tray itself, but he broke like the rails trying to fucking put his desk together.
My God.
good. Keyboard goes on top of the desk. Fancy kids and your slidey majiggers.
It's like a music workstation desk. It's great.
Ready to move on?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
just
let's get into
adding
this clown
time.
shit.
Yeah, I was reading Sean's comments about where Steven was. Did he get more?
He is on an island.
Yeah, a farm on an island specifically.
Yep.
Yeah,
In the
with his-
Bermuda
with his
Triangle.
aunt.
Right. So this last song, track. Oh my goodness. Track 12 is "When You're a Clown." I gave this an 8.
I give this song a 7.
Logan, you might want to go.
I give this one a 6.5.
I gave this song a 4 out of 10.
Damn.
Do you want me to defend it?
Please.
This-
Yeah, you
this-
do have the highest.
This song is about a sad clown, and I think that's like the funniest thing to me. I don't
It
know,
is
like
a meme.
like Tears of a Clown is just like a funny song to me. Like all these songs about how like all clowns are actually just sad. It's not the truth, but like it just I don't know. It makes me.
I don't know. A
makes me
lot of
laugh.
comics are horribly
I
depressed.
was just say, isn't anyone who makes jokes for a living just pretty sad inside? Because that's how I feel most of the time, and I don't even get paid to do this.
Yet.
Get on the Patreon.
Not yet.
Actually, go pick up our fucking merch. We haven't done a merch plug in a sec.
That's true. We
I'm the only one wearing any merch. See
Bull.
that?
Oh shit, you're right. I definitely swapped hats today.
Yeah.
Do
You have a
want-
cool
do you
hat
want one
on.
of them? I got it over there.
I don't.
You want to switch?
You can put it on.
Carl, do the ad read.
No, I can't put it on.
Fed.
Buy our hats. They're awesome.
Pretty dope.
All of our merch is pretty dope. We've got a lot of others like
We
the
have a
porn
new
stash
line
is back.
potentially coming out tomorrow because I forgot I had the asset for it. So I might cook up a bunch of merch tonight.
Oh, we have that. We also have the flag is back. Love that guy. For all you college dickheads.
And Carson's coming over tomorrow, so we're probably going to get another merch line.
So just so you guys know, Connor has to drive the RV out into the desert to cook the merch. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Handmade, all of it. Not by us, but by someone
Some poor.
who made a robot.
No.
so the other thing about this track I really liked is
Some well-paid employee to the company we print our merch with. Or probably machine, if we're being completely honest.
I was just say, yeah, someone hand built the robot that makes our machine.
Somebody
or
pushes
makes
the
our
button
merch.
that prints our merch.
actually the other thing I really liked about this track is that it recalls the intro. So kind of gives this like finality to the album, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I could see it working as like this outro piece, especially with like stepping back and looking at the first song as like an intro thing. Like it makes sense. And having this as the closeout, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's kind of a neat ending. And the music is pretty good. We get to hear a bunch of interesting instruments that we never hear in modern music. And again, with the whole modern styling, it's really neat to hear those sounds come through in a different way.
If they had done an album of this, I would have hated it. But like
Oh,
one
yeah.
track, I'm cool. Like
But it
Well,
but
too-
it wasn't one track, and that's my problem with it.
Well,
they did the first. Like, I understand what it is for the flow of the album, and that it lost no points from. I have it written here that this is a rare occasion where I give the last song on an album a bad score, and it has nothing to do with the flow of the album. But I said it in the first one. I'm not a huge fan of the circus music sound, but the other one started to grow on me a little bit. But this one I cannot get. This one dropped as a single after Hey Goomba, I believe. But even shut the fuck up. But even when it did drop, the first time I heard this was not today, and I didn't like it the first time I heard it, and I just don't like this song. That's really all I have.
I don't think I remembered the first track by the time this played. I think that's part of it.
Hey, it's me, Mike, from Breaking Bad. Anywho.
Maybe one day we'll explain what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out what Logan's got over there. He's withholding from the group. He's going to share his notes.
This is just a fun little ragtime ditty again. And I think that this album is meant to be played front to back to front to back to back to, like it's supposed to be played in a loop. And I appreciate that because it does change up enough to kind of fatigue you only a little, but I think it kind of wipes that back off to the point where I could listen to this album, once through and then again, and be fine. And that's cool. It's just a shitty ending when you end the album. It's kind of like, you're like, well, we're not as hype as when we started, but like we're kind of at your level where you're just done.
So yeah, I did mention it earlier. This video is also terrifying.
I don't know. I think like ending an album on like there's this guy and he's sad. I mean, it's like preparing you to go back to real life where everything's sad. I don't know. Also, I agree with Sean that I hate Skylar and she looks like Woody Harrelson in a wig. So, just random aside there.
Carson's missing so much.
I don't know what I'm missing. I'm reading the comment. Or are we talking about what's going on over there?
You're looking at me like you don't understand what's going on.
No, I'm literally reading the comments on Carson's phone. You guys have two similar names. There's too many syllables in here.
Dude, I call Connor Carson on a regular basis whilst talking to him. I'll be like, yeah, this one time Connor will be there and I'll be talking to Steven. I'll be like, yeah, this one time Connor.
Well, at least I'm not an asshole. Okay. Well, that's good.
It's time for Alex to make a comeback.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
All right, which one's next? Is it overall?
Pacing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. So, I wrote down vibe/flow/whatever. Pacing makes a lot of sense. I gave this a 10.
That's a little wild. I gave the pacing on this album an 8.
I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 7.5. I can explain this. It all just comes down to fatigue. I think this is a genre that if you're not like typical to it like me, like I kind of just dip my toes. But it's like listening to a whole album, it definitely fatigued me. And then also it's like you kind of do have that weird energy shift with Take It Off Stella where it's kind of like you start up and then you work back down and then you kind of plateau and then you're back up to right back down. It just kind of got me a little.
See, I didn't have any of that. I feel like going through this album, I didn't get any fatigue. It's short enough to where it was one of the smoothest listens that I've had on this podcast, I think.
See, I do think I could repeatedly listen to this album. I think it's just like the songs within its own self. I just kind of am like, all right, like I want to move on from this now.
I thought there was enough change throughout that it worked really well for flow of this album.
Yeah, I agree. Majorly, it's just the one track that's kind of a flow breaker for me. And then some of the clown stuff can be a little bit like, oh, I kind of want to skip this to get into the actual music.
That's like the only reason that it's not a 10 for me. Other than that, I think they nailed it.
I guess 1 point goes away from the clown shit and 1 point goes away from the flow breaker for me. But that's really it. Like, other than that, this was a super easy listen. It's great to listen all the way through. I actually felt myself wanting to go back and listen to it all the way through again. I listened to it like 4 times today, I think.
I've listened to this at least 3 separate times, and non-rating listens. Like I did my one rating listen, and I had like 3 just listens.
Yeah.
So the reason I gave this a 10 is I think that's like part of the genre. I think like part of the thing is that like they're different. I was really, really happy that they took all of these things that were different stories, different sounds, different eras, and got them all together in a cohesive way. And that, even though the stories didn't really align or all this stuff, the whole album sounds like it belongs together. Like it was all mixed and mastered together. And it all has this unified thing. It ran super smooth. I mean, I was really happy with this thing. I mean, I do typically like concept albums. That's kind of my bag. I do typically like jazzier things. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
See, I told this motherfucker people focus on book too much. Remember the marketing meetings we had? You heard none of that. That was a bit.
We've had marketing meetings that didn't just include one guy bitching about a logo.
That is true. A while back, there was a meeting about how we emphasized the word book too much in Album Book Club. And that book club is supposed to be used as a reference for what we do, not what we're doing.
Maybe a Patreon video where we'll just read we'll do like a full voiceover of a book.
But I feel like some people never quite grasp the concept that we are an album book club.
Right. If you guys want to see that on Patreon, give us enough money. I'll make Connor read 50 Shades of Grey.
That would be really
fucking hilarious.
You know what the funny thing is too is if we put you and Shroomy in that video, that would be just the world's funniest fucking content. That's like right up her alley, and that's right down the wrong alley for you, dude. That's a back alley mugging in your future.
Be a funny ass video though.
This is Connor suffering for the views.
We all do it.
Sean says if we do that, we have to call it Album Book Club Reading Club, so that it actually makes sense with the lore.
No, what I'll do, I'll take our logo,
book club,
and I'll take our logo and swap the font I used for album and book. So book is gonna be the top. It's gonna be Book Album Club.
Or we just completely get rid of album. I wish it was like Book Album Club, and we could get rid of album and just have a space like missing something clearly. But it would work. The logo would actually work too well if we did it that way.
Yeah.
You guys don't worry. We've got a logo in the reserves already.
You're goddamn right. Fuck.
All right. So next is over.
Next is the album art.
Is album art. Okay,
We
so
do album art,
it's album art next. Okay, I gave this like a 9.
10.
Let me cook. It's a 10 unless I find out it's AI.
There's no way.
I'm not even.
I don't think it is. I really don't. But if it is, it's like an 8.5 still. It's really fucking good.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even give a fuck if this is AI. This is a 10. I think that this is just. I can stare at this.
I want this up on my wall, brother.
I want a
like
giant fucking like movie poster size of this in like a full frame.
They should definitely release that as merch, like a full movie-sized poster of this album art.
The camera. Hey, Steve, Mir. I'm gonna need you to get cooking on like a movie poster of this album. I don't give a fuck how much it costs. Keep it under 100, please. I will purchase it. No signature required.
I did make a note of how cool it was that all the videos kind of matched the vibe of the album art. They all have the same like colorways and all that stuff, and I thought that was really cool.
I thought like the breakaway in the album art was really neat with all like the different decade shit going on here, how it's all kind of mixing together. So like that multicolored breakaway is really neat, and then also just the people. It's such a great like vibe. Like it fits the album so perfect. And it's beautiful to look at. So what else could you ask for in an album art?
They didn't have any naked ladies.
I think of the like season 3 album arts, I think it's been a minute since we've seen an album art that has been like really fucking good, and this is one of them.
You mean you didn't
Don't
really love the Trolls?
I knew you
3?
were gonna fucking say that.
I was gonna bring it up. Why do you guys only have me on for like musicals? What's going on with this?
That's what we think you like, man.
Well, this was because you were in the Steve interview.
This one makes sense.
No, I figured that out.
And the other one was because you were with us in
Trolls
Columbus.
was convenience. It felt wrong to put you in the kitchen while we did big boy shit.
But that's where I belong.
Carl does belong cooking.
That's when Carl sets up a camera that he brought to film a Carl cooking show in the kitchen.
Yeah, this is Carl, or you guys don't know, but I actually love to cook, and I can literally only cook for like 10 people. So if I start cooking, I have to call everyone I know. It's kind of a problem because I only know 10 people.
That's a vibe.
Well, shit. I know what we're doing at the Christmas party.
Carl cooking.
That sounds fun. I'll make quesadillas, or alternatively omelets. Those are the two things I'm really good at. All right, so
I'll make
that
us a rack of ribs.
leads up to
With a
overall.
40 and a rack of ribs.
Sorry, I just want to see you play Edward Rack of Ribs hands now.
Dude, who wants to go in a game of Edward 40 Hands right now on live?
Logan, it seems like you're the one wanting to do it.
I will take anyone on in a game of Edward 40 Hands. At
I
any
ain't
given
winning.
moment. Any fans of the album book club, if you see me at any given moment on the
This is
street
a
and come up
terrible
with
idea.
duct tape and 240s, go see Carson. I hear he'll take you on in a game of Edward 40 Hands anytime.
Do not welcome people to come
Yeah,
up to
good
us.
fucking
ever.
luck.
Yeah, don't approach us. My security detail might cry.
I'm your security detail, and I will cry.
Because I need security detail.
Are we ready for overall?
Yeah.
All right, 8.5.
Overall, I have to agree. 8.5.
Well, I don't have that written, but I will round up to an 8.5. I eyeballed an 8.25, but I will round up.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to get shit on for saying this. This is a 10 out of 10. The song ratings don't reflect it, but that's because we do the music overall. And if you want a perfect album, I'll be damned if it ain't this. 12 songs, 45 minutes. It has a song that you are clearly going to like the least. And it has a song you're clearly going to like the most. It has ups and it has downs.
And there's no interludes.
And there's no interludes.
Yes!
Exactly. This, to me, is... There's not a better way to describe a perfect album. This is like, a perfect album shouldn't be an album of 10 out of 10s. That's not a perfect album. That's a greatest hits song, or album. Cool. True. Congrats. It's a compilation. This is...
I don't know, the last time we did a compilation, we did not give that shit a 10 out of 10.
That is true.
And it was this.
And it was this band who has a perfect album in my mind. I just think it hits all the marks. So, good job.
I'll go next if you want. I love this album. This album's awesome. I just don't think I can listen to, I guess, swing. This brand of swing all the time. And I think that's what, it's... I wouldn't say it's a Desert Island album. I'd say it's one that I'd love to have on vinyl. I'd love to have this and be able to listen to it, do that stuff, because I love the album. But there's a lot of fatigue that comes with kind of the power and the energy and how loud you have to listen to this stuff. That was it for me. That's why it was an 8.5.
You know what? After hearing yours and Logan's, I'm going to shift mine up to a 9 because I don't really get fatigued with this kind of music all too easy. Like, I could listen to this pretty much all day and be fine. So having something that's this well put together, it's a good concept. It's an easy listen. It's balanced right. It's got a great album art. If it weren't for the small things that I didn't like about it, it'd probably be a 10 out of 10 for me.
I mean, yeah, I could probably make that argument too. I'm not going to, but this album is great. I haven't said that about an album we've reviewed in a while, but this shit fucks.
Honestly, it's so refreshing, right? Because obviously we listen to a lot of the same music. I mean collectively as a group.
Oh, I thought you meant on this.
Like not on the show. We get a good mix on the show. But it shows when we are in our element while being out of it, which is exactly what this is. Like, this takes us back to all of our roots as starting musicians, being in, like, band class. This is that type of music that we played in pep band and got excited for. So it's just fun to be back at the roots on shit we know.
If we got handed any of these songs in pep band, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it would have been
actually,
fucking
great.
awesome.
I actually would have cried, but I know for a fact I would have been begging every goddamn day to play this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about this with Steve, you know, when we did the interview, but I mean, Zoot Suit Riot was like one of the first songs I actually learned on drums, and it was the first one I ever performed on a drum set. So
I know
it-
we were all begging for Zoot Suit Riot all the
Every
time.
time.
And we always rushed that shit because we were so excited to play it. And it sounded good whether it was rushed or not. Who cares?
You know what we never rushed once?
Hmm.
Willow Grove.
God damn. Don't bring up Willow Grove, man.
That's my least favorite thing we ever fucking played.
Not Kentucky 1800 or whatever the fucking song
And
was.
that's called Kentucky 1800, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I
Fuck
was
that
like,
song too.
the song that got played every year and was denied every year that it was played the previous year.
I think, Connor, you were the only other one there for Vesuvius, right?
I don't think I played that.
We didn't play it, no. We were both in symphonic bands. But it
That
was,
was the year before my
yeah, I think so.
freshman. Because my freshman year we played Jupiter from the Planets.
I remember that.
And
that
that
was
shit
so
was
fun.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. That was so fucking cool.
Here's our fucking kids. I refuse to call us band kids because we were kids that were in band.
Yeah,
We grew
exactly.
up to be
I
rock
don't
stars
know.
and dicks.
For the first half of that, I was the fucking band kid for sure.
I
For
feel
a
like
freshman and sophomore year, I was like in it.
I got indoctrinated by the seniors that hated that mentality.
I was gonna say I didn't get indoctrinated by shit. They just wanted me out.
I got indoctrinated by an XD senior. You know, someone who unironically in chat would say "rar XD."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Like one of them
Hell
poggers
no.
people.
Hey, you remember Alex Sissom?
Yo, government names.
No, I don't. I've never heard that name in my life.
Our
Carson.
legal team's
Who
gonna
are
have
you?
I'm
Whose
pretty
name
sure
did you
he's-
just make up?
I'm pretty sure that's not his actual first name.
just
Oh,
edit
no.
it out
I
later.
gave you an out. Take it.
Oops.
Just fix it in post.
Our oh wait, I
I
got a
fucked
couple.
up one. Never mind. I'm leaking the plot.
All right, I think that just about wraps us up. Any last thoughts, boys?
I don't know if Steve's gonna end up watching this or not, but if he does, I just want to say, hey, thanks again for kind of being a friend of the channel, and thanks again for being a part of this because you know,
Thanks for making
Yeah,
banging
we
music.
Probably should.
We also have been mentioning this statement that we have from Steve that we acquired today when we asked what he had to say about the
It's a
album,
fucking
and we
nut.
will finally make that public knowledge for Sean.
wait, can you read?
Sometimes.
No.
So essentially,
You're right. I'm gonna take a fucking stretch break.
yeah, you guys. So here is Steve's response when we asked if he had anything to say that we could read off during the review. He said basically he wanted to expand his music exploration and writing modern music within the swing genre into subgenres that he hadn't really touched on before, like 40s golden era big band and ragtime/hot jazz. The idea being that body of work would reflect and attempt to utilize all the different permutations of 20th C popular jazz in a modern context. The overarching idea being to create kind of Americana record feeling that focuses on swing and jazz rather than blues and bluegrass that's more commonly attempted. Conceptually, the goal is to evoke a haunted feeling similar to maybe how Gun Club does Americana rather than being an orthodox retro band that is trying to produce exact replicas of music from that long ago. And he would ask to that way of thinking, for what reason? His belief is that everything we do now as a culture and as individual citizens is haunted and informed by a history that often is not acknowledged or understood completely, and by thinking about the lives, beliefs, and modes of expression of former humans, we can bring about a new renaissance, a new, possibly more sophisticated, different-sounding new music and art and fashion culture that will bring light to different abilities and perspectives in future generations of popular American artists. See this as just yet another contribution towards this potential future. Maybe my idea will end in a truncated evolutionary line but calling from non-guitar, non-computer based sources is positing a cue about where music can allow itself to go in the future. Sorry, I absolutely got lost on that last line and goofed it up. But as you can see, Steve is a very insightful guy. In this album, we touched on it prior, is all about just a modern take on this music and playing it modern. Oh, just toss it? Yeah.
Steve is a super deep dude. I'm always just impressed about that. Also, this couch is way comfier than the other one. Like, screw you guys.
Hey, there will be a new couch in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and also, we took this couch because he switches and I run the audio, so we have jobs. All right, what is next week's album? I already tossed you your phone back.
So next week, I don't know who the hell's going to be here. We'll figure that out later. But this is a viewer-suggested album. We got Come Out You're Hiding by Floor, F-L-O-R. I think it's like a alternative. It says alternative, and I'm just going to go with that. Yeah, we'll see what that's all about.
Hell yeah, big thank you to Carl. We will see who's on the roster for next week. I'm out, but I'll be back.
Me and Carson
the
will
following
probably be there. We'll see what happens.
I swear I'll be here.
week. And you'll know that they couldn't get everyone else if we're live on Saturday.
That is true.
All right, y'all.
That's all we got. See you.